Hey guys, it's Elizabeth, Finding Elizabeth, and I was halfway through this video and the Kindle went flying through the air for some strange reason. Hi, how are you? It is Monday, November 7th, 2016. This is my week 134 post-op vertical sleeve gastrectomy update. My highest weight in January of 2014 when I started my pre-op process was 402 pounds. I had surgery on April 14th, 2014. At 360.6 pounds. Oh, this needs to be symmetrical. Is anybody else OCD like that? Okay. I watch videos sometimes and look at my necklace and it's like, I don't like that. Anyway, yeah, the surgery, 360.6. My weight last week was 205.4 pounds. My weight today was 203 pounds. So that's a 2.4 pound loss this week, a 5.6 pound loss in the last month, and a 1 pound loss for this year. As those of you who follow me know that I've basically been bouncing around the same area all year. So for the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, I have been attempting to do keto. And here's sort of what I discovered about this. And I just want to preface this with the disclaimer saying I'm speaking strictly for myself. I know this works for many, many, many people. I am talking for Elizabeth. And what works for one person doesn't always work for everybody else. It works for me to weigh every day because I can't let a lot of time pass where I don't weigh, because that sort of makes it so that I'm not being accountable to myself. I can't not make videos because that's another accountability measure for myself. Those are things that I do. Those are not things that everybody else does or that works for them. So all I'm talking about is what works for me. So at OH, Banded Wendy pulled me aside at her booth and we were talking, and she said she had heard me on my videos talking about doing using keto to try to get these last pounds off. And she said, you know, I'd really be careful about that because it really is a diet and we didn't have weight loss surgery to be on a diet for the rest of our lives and blah, blah, blah. And I heard what she was saying and I absolutely agreed with that about diet, but I didn't have I don't think at that time I had a total understanding of what keto was. Because what I considered keto to be was really probably more like paleo, which is protein and produce, low carbs, high protein, and I wasn't really thinking about the fat component. So what keto actually is low carb, very low carb, moderate protein, and high fat. So you have to also watch your protein levels as you're trying to get the level of fat that you need. And what I discovered is this, it presents to me sort of a diet mentality, just like what Wendy said, and I wasn't wanting to hear at the time, that just doesn't work for me. I was talking to my dad about it, who's a doctor, and I was saying, yeah, the idea that there are things that are strictly off limits doesn't work for me. I did not have weight loss surgery to be on a diet, and although keto has like all of the foods I love, I mean, I am a meat person, I am a butter person, I am a cheese person, I mean, I love all that stuff. But the mere thought that I wasn't supposed to have something, I swear to God, in the few weeks that I've been on keto, I have probably eaten more candy, sugary, processed junk food than I did in the entire time before I had weight loss surgery. There was something about that, you can't have this, it's forbidden. My dad's like, it's just because you don't like people telling you what to do. Maybe, could be. But, so what I would do was I would go keto all day. So that would mean I was getting in a lot more calories than I usually eat, plus a lot more fat than I usually eat. And then at night I would just like totally carb it up on candy and sugar and ice cream and stuff I just don't do. And so I had a realization early in the week last week that this is not going to work for me. I can't, it's not something I would be able to do for the rest of my life. Therefore, to me, it is sort of a diet. And that doesn't work for me. So anyway, like I said, I think it's a good plan for people who can do it. I looked at a lot of the research and stuff that Tanya had sent me. It's fascinating. I believe it's true. I've never been afraid of fats, but for me, it's not going to work because I can't have things that are absolutely off limits to me, because that sets up like kind of like a deprivation cycle in my head that doesn't work for me mentally to stay on point. So what am I going to do? Let's talk about that. So when the weight loss surgery program that I was in through Kaiser had 3 months of classes that we had to go to ahead of time, and they told us that we had to lose 10% of our body weight. They did not give us any instructions on how to do that, just weighed us every time we came in and said that if we did not hit that goal, they would not approve our surgeries, which wasn't true, and I'm holding on to a little resentment about that. But anyway, so I lost 10%. I was 402 pounds when I started. I was 360 pounds on the day of surgery. So I lost 40 pounds during that pre-op period. And how did I do that? I did it by, and I've said this a million times, so I'm sorry if you've heard me say this a million times. I think repetition is good. But I did it by changing one small thing at a time. And then once I got that thing in gear, I would move on to another thing. And I tried to start with things that weren't so overwhelming because I needed to build up some confidence in my ability to do what I said I was going to do as it related to food and my body. Any other area of my life, if I said I was going to be there to pick you up, I would be there. If I said I was going to have something by this time, I would do it. But those promises that I made to myself, I was never as consistent on keeping, and really felt like it was out of my control and something I was incapable of. So, I think I don't remember exactly how I started it, but I started it with very easy things. I think first it was like MyFitnessPal, tracking everything, not limiting any food, but just tracking everything. Then it was the water, 64 ounces of water. And it was about a thing a week, but just depending on how long it took me to get that habit to where I felt like, okay, that's an ingrained habit in me now. It was, don't eat in the car. I could still have fast food, but I couldn't eat it in the car. As we got further along, it was like no fast food. I could eat out at restaurants. I could go, have whatever I wanted at a restaurant. I just couldn't do it at a fast food restaurant, and so on and so on and so on. And so really, without, making huge, gigantic changes, I lost 40 pounds in 3 months before I had surgery. So, and during this 2.5 years that has followed, one of the things that I have I would say in the 2 years, because about 6 months ago, I sort of lost my way a little bit. But so for 2 years, what I really did develop was a belief in my ability to keep my word to myself about things related to food and my body. And I think that's part of the reason something like keto is not going to work for me, because every day was like a failure. Because I would get to a certain point, I would do it great all the way up to this point, and then I'd fuck it up at the end. And I need to not feel like a failure every day. That does not help me succeed in anything. So, like to me, if I decide I'm going to have a little bit of cake, I have a little bit of cake. It's when it's like sneaking or hiding or, or whatever I'm eating, if I'm eating from a place of stuffing feelings or whatever, that's a yellow light for me. But the mere idea of eating cake or ice cream or whatever, or French fry, I don't even like French fries anymore. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, but you know what I just thought of that I haven't eaten since way before surgery? That sounds really good. Okay, anyway. So over the first 2 years post-op, I really did develop a belief that I could keep my word to myself in terms of exercise, in terms of my protein, my calories. And I never focused so much on calories if I was doing what I was, except in the beginning to up them, because my doctor told me I needed to up them from where I was. But my protein, my water, blah, blah, blah. So the 6 months before I got back from Colombia were kind of a lost cause. I was drinking way too much. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't eating enough, and I wasn't eating the protein I was supposed to eat, and I was all emotionally entangled. So I wasn't putting myself first. So I came back from Colombia and decided that I needed to figure out how to address this. Not even just so much because I still have more weight to lose, but because I need to keep my word to myself, and I need to take care of myself and do the things that are good for me and my body. So the first thing that I did when I came back from Colombia was I stopped drinking for 30 days. I did not stop drinking entirely for 30 days. There were a few dates that I had where I had a couple of beers during those 30 days. But it shifted the dynamic that I had with alcohol considerably. I was drinking every day. For probably, I would say I was drinking every day since March through September, so for 6 months. And something has just shifted. So now I am drinking when I want to drink, but something has totally shifted in me in terms of a desire to drink. Yes, I want to do it every once in a while or with friends or whatever, but it's not that driving need that I had for about 6 months. So that's awesome. So during that 30 days, I thought, okay, here's the most destructive thing I'm doing. Let's get that in check and see where we're at. And so I was able to do that. Then I think water came next. I had not been drinking the requisite amount of water probably that same time, because as soon as I stopped drinking, I was used to drinking something all the time. So the alcoholic beverages I was drinking became water. So I think I got my water back on track in September as well. And then a few weeks ago, I decided I needed to get serious about exercise, so made a commitment to work out 30 days straight with no break in between. I did day 16, so today's day 17 of that, and I feel incredible. And that really has boosted up my sense of my just confidence in myself and my ability to keep my word to myself, because there is nothing getting in the way of that between now, for the next 13 days. There just isn't. I'll figure it out. If I'm in LA all day or all night, I'll get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go work out, or I'll work out when I come home. But that's a really firm commitment to me. So from an eating perspective, my protein is with the exception of that 6 months where I just wasn't eating enough, my protein has always been pretty much on point, as it has been since September when I got back and started to get serious. So I'm pretty sure I don't need to set a goal of 60 to 80 grams of protein, because I'm pretty sure I'm getting that. But what I do need to do is get back in the habit of MyFitnessPal. So that's my next thing, is tracking every day on MyFitnessPal for at least 30 days. Hopefully longer. And, but I need that time to do it and to get used to it and to make it part of my routine again. I've been doing it intermittently, much more so over the last few weeks than I have been in forever. And then I think after I get that down, I think that Amy mentioned this, and then I was watching SJ's video for the week, and she had mentioned that Pete had recommended it to her, and I think this may be something I will try as well, which is to increase the number of servings of vegetables that I'm having in a day. Pete's recommendation to SJ was to eat a cup, I think he said a cup or two before every meal. I don't know that I could do that. Amy's was 3 servings of vegetables a day. When I was on keto, I was getting a lot of vegetables because I was eating salad with every meal. But other than that, I would probably have 1 serving of vegetables a day. So it may be 3 servings. But so that's what the plan is for me, and we're just going to kind of see. And that leads to another decision that I made over the last few days, which is, where are we at in terms of course, we're at 13 minutes already. So originally, the nurse practitioner in my surgeon's office had said that she thought I could hit 140 pounds. I don't know now, 2.5 years in the process, I think that's insane. I think I would look, I have a lot of muscle mass. I think I would look, I can't even imagine, because there's people I know who weigh more than that and I think are super tiny. So yeah, that's not, so my original goal, because she'd said I think 140, so I said 139, because I have to be ornery that way. Then I thought about it and I said, okay, how about 175? Well, I've basically been at this weight for a year, playing around in the same area for a year, and I think I'm just gonna see how it goes over the next few months, and I may just call it. I know, but here's the other part of that, is I'm going to go ahead and start getting serious about plastics. There are people who, the last doctor I saw said that he estimated about 13 pounds of skin. So that would take me, down to the 180, the high 180s. But then you add the boobs. I don't know how much they weigh when you put those in. But Anyway, I am pretty sure that I'm going to go to Mexico for my plastic surgery, so I'm going to start researching that. I feel much more confident about that now, just having seen and talked to many people who've done it, and also Gracie, no one's stopping me but me, who's a nurse, lives in San Diego now, and she had said she would go with me, and that gives me a higher sense of confidence about it. But I think you know, there have been people in the community who have been at higher weights than I am, or the same weight that I am now, and had plastics and had good results. So I think I'm ready. In terms of weight goal, I don't know. I definitely, I'm not calling it yet, because I think, like I said, I haven't tried seriously in the last 6 months. I was trying a little bit with keto, but I think all the way it was mind fucking me. You know, didn't really result in any loss. So I'm going to see how it goes the next couple of months. I probably would not be able to get plastics until the fall, even if I had the money to pay for it right now, because my stepdaughter, who works with me, is pregnant again, and her baby is due in the beginning of June. She works with me, so a lot of the stuff that she normally does, I will need to be filling in on, and therefore I wouldn't want to leave to have plastics until she's back from having the baby, which I'm assuming would probably be, the baby's due in June, the beginning of June, so I would assume she'll probably be back in August. So, so I think I'm looking at fall for plastics, and I'm going to see how it goes in terms of what my weight does. But I'm thinking that I really may be wrapping this shit up, whether or not I get to 175 pounds. I look at Courtney, who, I feel like we had a similar body type starting out, except she's heavier up top than I am. In other words, she had better boobs than I did going into this. And, but I mean, she looks absolutely incredible. And, so that's what I'm thinking, folks. And what else from an emotional headspace perspective? I don't know. I'm up and down. I have generally been feeling better. Last couple days, not so much. Something happened that maybe I'll talk about. And what I think might be my last relationship or dating post-weight loss surgery video for a while that I might do tonight. But I've been getting a lot of stuff done. I got a lot of stuff in my personal life done last week that had just been sort of hanging out. I had been in a big space of denial about all kinds of things, and I just started last week getting shit done, which felt really good. But I also need to realize that I don't know, that sometimes I need to cut myself a little slack, and when I feel like I should be over something, or something shouldn't upset me, and it does, that I should just be okay with that and not immediately start criticizing myself about it. So that's what I'm working on from an emotional perspective. So that's what I got this week, guys. I think I have today off. Technically, I only work part-time for the Gina Davis Institute, and I don't have another client right now, so I've started blocking off 2 days a week, because otherwise I really do work full-time, even though they're only paying me for half-time. And today is one of those days, so I think I may go down to the beach for a little while. I have one conference call this afternoon, and then I'm going to go have dinner with Sandrese. So you guys have a great week, and I probably will, the next day or two, I'll make another dating post-weight loss surgery video. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.